Go Dogs. First of all, guys, man, I'm excited to have you guys all here today. So welcome to our newly renovated office space here. This is where, I spend a lot of time with myself and my staff, bumping and grinding, getting ready for this exciting 2024 season. We're super excited about the staff that we have assembled together, super excited about the young men that have bought into our process and what we're all about. We had an amazing summer with about 70 of our scholarship players that stayed here this summer and sacrificed to be here to make us 1% better. And we're grateful for the people that donated to our Bulldog Excellence Program to assure that our young men can be here and develop some comradeship amongst each other, especially with as many newcomers as we have, as well as get ahead academically and get to know their teammates. So it was a win-win for us all having those guys here for most of the summer. So we're here now, man. It's time for the grass. We're super excited. It's football season. So I woke up this morning so excited that I get to be the head football coach at South Carolina State University and be able to continue on the legacies that's been built around here for a long, long time and building the right culture of not only winning championships, but winning souls as well. So again, super excited about this season. I feel like as a staff, we've done an amazing job of bringing the right fit of individuals into this program. We really truly feel that the foundation of this program has already been here with the young men that we already had here, that was recruited here when I got here, but we also were able to bring in 40 newcomers, 32 transfers, as well as 8 freshmen, all right, to be able to come in and build this legacy what has already been established here at South Carolina State for a long time. We're now celebrating the 50th year since the first MEAC championship, 1974. So I'm sure that team is super excited, but we want to continue, like I say, the legacy of what's been built and started here a long time ago. So again, I will open it up for questions now.
Coach Ernest Miller, the Miller Experience Sports. I'm big on social media. I see you guys, I follow you guys on Instagram. And when I see you, I kind of get that mindset of prime. You know the swag, the way you carry yourself, how you interact with the young men, the monikers around the facility. What elements about football make you excited and motivated to come to work every day?
And I get to do this. There's a got to, then there's a get to. I get to do this. I get the chance to motivate and be in a ministry where I can be around 100+ young men and ladies every day and impact their lives. I was just sharing that with the staff this morning.
Yeah.
This is a blessing to be able to do this. This is year 30. And I've started today, as I woke up this morning, I was like, man, this is year 30 coaching this game of college football, just impacting the lives of young people. So, it's a profession, yes it is, but it's also a ministry where we get a chance to impact the lives of young people. So it gets me motivated every day to come to work, man. So I appreciate you noticing that. But that's what it's all about, making young men better, because one day this game will end, okay? It has an expiration date. And they'll spend more time as fathers and husbands and leaders in the community more than they will be football players. So it's my obligation to pour everything I got into these young men to make them better football players, but also better young men as well.
I agree.
Coach, Russ Conley with WIS TV. What excites you the most about this first preseason with this football team?
Well, we get a chance to get on the grass with some guys that are really bought in. Like I say, the foundation of the program has already been here. We've got the young men that's already been in this program, that's already won and understand what it takes at South Carolina State University, but we've also built in some great, assigned some great young men to be able to build on what we already have. I think we have something special on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, but we also signed some very good special team members to be able to make us better as well. So we're gonna have 106 young men that's gonna report to camp today, actually, and they're gonna be excited about what we have built here, and I can't wait to get on the grass tomorrow to see what it all looks like and let the fruits of our labor continue to show.
With that being said, as a first-year staff and bringing all these kids together, the kids that were here, the kids that are coming in, what kind of challenges does that pose for you guys?
Well, it's about togetherness. Together, everyone achieves more. It's about the team. It's not about offense, not about defense, it's not about special team. It's about the team. And you ever seen those super teams in the NBA where they sign all these free agents, all these super teams? They're supposed to be great. Then they end up not being great as everybody expected them to be. Our objective for training camp is to come together as one. All right, one team. All right, and again, I believe if we can do that with discipline, accountability, and all the things that we have, because we have some talent. but so does other teams that we're going to play have talent. It's bigger than talent. It's about us coming together as one and just continue to build our brand. But I really think we've done an amazing job of recruiting, and I can't wait to see those guys on the field when we hit that field tomorrow morning.
Do you have any specific priorities this preseason that you want to address?
Well, first of all, number one, we want to stay healthy. You know, you have to stay healthy. You know, I really believe that we have done a good job of recruiting depth. But again, we want to make sure that we're building comradeship and we're getting better and getting the timing and things of that nature. But reps more than anything. The thing about training camp, we don't start school until August 20th. So it's about to be ball from today all the way to August 19th. Nothing but ball. So they can focus on ball, learning our offensive installs, our defensive installs, our special team installs. But we really feel like we have some talent in this program that we can really have a great year. The philosophy for this year is two things. Number one is we're going to begin with the end in mind, okay? All right, begin with the end in mind. That's basically saying our vision is one vision. On December the 14th, 2024, to be in Atlanta playing for the national championship in the Celebration Bowl. That's it. And we're going to talk about it one time, okay? But we also talk about paying the fee. It costs to be a champion. Everybody in America right now wants to be a champion. Everybody's team coming in right now saying, we're going to be a champion this year. Everybody's saying it, but it costs. It's not free. All right, but what does it cost? All right, that's focus. That's the F. E is effort and amazing execution. Because it all sounds good, but you got to go execute it. But at the end of the day, it costs, and are we willing to pay the fee each and every day by going 1-0? The ball is going to kick off on August 31st against a really, really good FAMU football team. But guess what? We got to fall in love with being the best we can be on July the 30th. We can't worry about August 31st. Just chop wood, carry water, fall in love with the process of going 1-0 every day. And on August 31st, we're going to let the chips fall where they may.
Coach Matt Vereen from Watch Fox, obviously, we know your identity when you were at Benedict. What do you want? You talk about the character and building up these guys. What do you want the identity of this program that you're building here to be?
Discipline and physical and tough. We got to be disciplined. You can have a lot of talent, but with no discipline, you have absolutely nothing. Discipline is real simple. Do right. Okay, you got to have a disciplined football team. Everybody has talent. All right, we got to be physical. This Chennis Berry led football team, nothing about me is timid. Okay, everything about me is a physical mindset. All right, and we got to be able to, again, you hear me talk about sending a message about dominating. Kill a fly with a sledgehammer. But it's not about the fly you just killed. It's about the other flies that's watching. That means being physical. That means when you put it on film, other people are watching it. All right, and ultimately, our leadership is going to be extremely important as well. Our leadership, we have a bunch of seniors on this football team. A lot of guys that played in the Celebration Bowl a couple years ago, they actually played and had snaps. But see, the guys that we're bringing in, it's up to them to fall in love with what's the philosophy around here at South Carolina State. And we're already going to start with discipline. Everything is going to be about discipline and being physical. So I think if we can do that and bring it all together with the talent that we have assembled, we like our chances in the 2024 season.
How important is it to get that buy-in and that work here in this month, especially considering you start with 3 straight road games, which is sort of be a huge challenge for these guys?
Absolutely. Buy-in is extremely important. And one thing I know about these young men that we already have here, they're 100% bought in. They love what we're doing on and off the field. And they know that we genuinely care about them. You know, they talk about all the things that we're doing in the weight room, study hall, and all those things, the things we're doing on the field, but they talk mostly about the things that we're doing off the field. Things like We Educate Wednesdays. Every Wednesday we bring in guest speakers in the community that talk about not just football, talk about life, all right, being businessmen and being steward and being great people in the community. So they love that we care about them not just as football players, but young men. And when you get people to do that and the complete buy-in of the whole entire program, notice I didn't say football team. Teams just win every now and then. Good teams win every now and then, but programs win consistently year in and year out. And one thing I know about these young men that we have assembled here, they are completely bought in to what we're doing. Now, it's important that the newcomers come in and buy into it as well. So again, we'll be doing things like team bonding throughout the training camp, just coming together. We'll do what we call battalions. We'll break the team off, different positions in different groups of 10. And then when they go to the cafeteria, they got to get to know each other. Then at night, they present to the team a little bit about each individual that I may not have known, all right? Because they got to spend more time together. Because again, together, everyone achieves more. And when we talk about team, we believe if we can do that, we like our chances when it comes to the 2024 season.
Coach, 2-part question, Ernest Miller, Middle Experience Sports. How do you go about choosing the leaders on your team, and what are the values of your program?
Well, leadership is extremely important, and I think we have some guys that are leaders. All right, we have what we call a leadership council, and the team will vote on that leadership council tonight. They pick the leaders, okay? But we as a coaching staff, obviously, we oversee it. And with that leadership council, we meet every week. We talk about everything in the program, and I want them to be transparent from what uniform we wearing for the game. They talk about it all. All right, guys that may poison and we may need to cut that cancer out. We talk about it all. So again, developing leaders, they can't be scared to be leaders. Sometimes being a leader, man, sometimes it's not always popular.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, again, I always tell our seniors and our leaders, I always give them this mindset. There's no more do-overs. How do you want to be remembered? Every time we come to Oliver C. Dawson Stadium, we see those 18 MEAC championships. But how do you want to be remembered? What legacy do you want to leave when you leave South Carolina State University? That they will be talking about you at the 2044 homecoming from the legacy that you left in the 2024 season. But at the end of the day, it's not about the 4 years we have our young men. It's about the 40 years afterwards. That's what we talk about when you build a program. Not the 4 that we have them here. The time and the impact that we make on these young men for these 4 going to set them up for the next 40 years of their lives. Now, when you talk about the values, the core values, the pillars of the program, we always talk about dig deep. Adversity is going to strike as young men, but also it's going to strike in the game of football. You're not always going to be up. You're not always going to be down. We got to find it from the pit of our soul to dig deep, and you see it on the walls here. All right, that first D is probably behind me is discipline. It's about discipline. Yeah. Everything is about discipline in this program. Go to class, sit in the first 3 rows, do right. Everything is about discipline, because if you don't have discipline, if we ask you to do those things on 3rd and 5, can we depend on you if you don't have discipline? Can we depend on you in the red zone if you don't have discipline? So discipline is important. The next I is integrity. That's your character. Who are you when no one's watching? We have a philosophy with our young men. We want them to sit in the first 3 rows. Why? For relationships in the classroom. Okay? But when I check the class, are you in the 5th row? That means I can't trust you, because I said sit in the first 3 rows. Gee, God, we put God first in this program. We don't hide from him. We don't choose a God for him. But we know there is a higher power. All right, so we don't run from it, we don't hide from it. We put God first in this program. Next thing is dedication. You got to be dedicated to be a student athlete. Well, we practice in the morning. We got 6 a.m. team meetings. All right, we on the field from 7 to 9. Those guys got to leave there. They got to get some food from the cafeteria. They got to go to study hall. They got to go to class. They got to go to practice. They got to go to weight rooms. They got to do all these things throughout the day. You got to be dedicated to be a student athlete. It's not easy being a student athlete. Then they got to turn around and do it all over again. The next E is effort. Effort. Give me all you got, because as a head football coach, I'm going to give you effort every day. I'm going to give you my best every day. I will never leave a stone unturned, but all I'm asking you to give me great effort every day. The next E is execution. You got to be execute. We all got a plan. We all want a boat on the hill. A house on the hill, boat on the lake. We all want all those great things, but guess what? You got to go execute it. And then last P is pride, having that bulldog pride in everything we do, and that's the core values of our program, is dig deep. When adversity strikes, find a way to, from the pit of your soul, to find a way to see it through.
Coach Travis Fulham, Times Democrat, you said you had 70-plus players here for the summer. What does that say about the excitement around this team to have that many players staying on campus, and also the competition that it's going to breed coming into spring practice?
Super exciting. It tells about the commitment from not only our players, but from the people that invested in it, because obviously it's not free. And guys got to have a place to stay. They got to take classes. They got to have meals. So we have this thing called Bulldog Excellence. All right, where people can invest in that program throughout the year. And a lot of people contributed to that program to make sure that our young men were here. All right, having those guys here this summer, not only, yes, they're working on conditioning, they're getting bigger, they're getting faster, they're getting stronger. I met with the strength and conditioning coach yesterday. He told me how about 90% of our team PR, that means personal records. I mean, we had our starting, Nick Tace, our starting right guard, he power cleaned 355 pounds from the ground. That's extreme explosion. That's his best he's ever done. Again, we had so many guys that hit great marks. Aaron Smith hit 345. Those guys, I mean, that's a lot of weight. We had a running back, Tyler Smith, hit 335. That's amazing from a power clean standpoint. But it also brings them together. So when we go out for practice tomorrow, think about how faster they're going to start from the reps those guys got all summer. When we hit that field come tomorrow, they'll be playing at a high level. We had all our top quarterbacks here, all our top O linemen, our top D linemen, our top DBs, our top linebackers. Everybody in the top positions were here all summer learning what we were doing, getting in shape, building comradeship amongst each other. And we're going to see a faster football team when we come out there tomorrow for our first practice number 1.
Coach, Kendrick Lewis, SC State. You talked about some of the returners that were here this summer. Talk about some of the newcomers that you're super excited about.
Oh, man, listen. First of all, we'll start with the big guys up front. You know, not many places in America, guys, and I get excited when I get a chance to talk about my players. People ask me all the general questions, but when I get a chance to talk about my guys is when I get super excited. So we have 5 offensive linemen, starting offensive linemen coming back on the team that led the league in rushing. Okay, all 5 coming back. So that's a beautiful thing. Okay, and these guys, you know, you're talking about 3 of them, and I'll kind of reiterate with those guys. You're talking about Nick Tace, Cam, and Eric Brown. They've had 37 consecutive starts. That's a lot of experience. All right. We also have Ian Sharp coming back. He started at left guard last year, and Trey Franklin started at right tackle. But we brought in a couple young men that we feel really excited about. Roger Big Baby Smith. All right. Roger Big Baby is a young man that was starting left guard for the last school I was at. He started 25 consecutive starts. So he knows the offense really, really well. He's going to do a great job. We brought in Big Joe Johnson. He's a 6'8", 300-pound young man, offensive tackle. All right, we have a young man by the name of Kanan Liggins that hadn't played yet here, but we call him Big Strain. Big Strain, that means everything he do, he's straining to the echo of the whistle. Can't wait to see him get out on the field. And then Chandler Muller. Chandler Muller's been in the program for a long time. He hadn't been a starter, but he's played a lot of snaps. So I'm excited about that offensive line room. You win ball games in the trenches. Then let's talk about the trigger men, the quarterbacks. You know, we brought in a quarterback that we feel wholeheartedly, when it's all said and done, can be HBCU National Player of the Year in Eric Phoenix. Eric Phoenix is a talented dual threat quarterback. He's about 6'3", about 215 pounds. He's a true dual threat. He can run it, he can throw it, and he's very cerebral and smart. And guess what? He won a championship in this offense 2 years ago. All right, so he knows the offense like the back of his hand. All right, so that's a beautiful thing. We also have a young man by the name of Ryan Stubblefield. Ryan Stubblefield transferred to us from Incarnate Word. He's another dual threat quarterback. They're really, really explosive, and you better have 2 if you want to have a good football team, because one could go down. And again, we have some other guys that we're excited about in that quarterback room. Wide receiver room. All right, you better be explosive on the wide receiver. So we're returning from last year, Kendrick. We're returning a young man by the name of Justin Smith-Brown, who is all MEAC player. He's a speed, explosive guy. Also, Jordan Smith is another guy that's returning from last year. But we signed 4, where we think 4 really, really good transfers is going to take us to the next level. We'll start with Caden High. Caden High, you know, a lot of times you talk about transfers, people go get these transfers from the FBS programs, which is cool, but a lot of them didn't play where they were. Okay, we bought in transfers, whether they were Division II, FCS, or FBS, that actually played and had production. The only thing they hadn't done it at Oliver C. Dawson Stadium as of yet, but they've had production. You talk about Caden High. He was a true freshman last year at the last school I was at Benedict College, and caught 47 balls for 800 yards and 10 touchdowns. I mean, he's been explosive. So he had a great spring. He had a great summer. We're excited about him. A young man by the name of Enaj Carter. His nickname is Quick Six. So what does that tell y'all? Okay, that's his nickname, Quick Six. All right, he's going to be explosive. He came to us from East Tennessee State University, but he's exploding. He's lightning out there. I mean, he really can make it happen. And he's also great in the return game as well. So he's a young man. Nick Soul, he played at, anybody know about South Carolina football? He played at Dutch Fork High School. Okay, he was also a guy that played for us at Benedict College, was very, very productive. But he's a 6'6", 205-pound receiver, you know, that's got awesome catch radius. All right, and also I will end it with DeAndre Ruffin. DeAndre Ruffin transferred from Georgia Southern University, and you're talking about a 6'2", 205-pound physical wide receiver. So those 4 guys are going to come in and really be able to make some things happen out wide. I feel wholeheartedly that we have the best tight end in all of HBCU football with Keyshawn Toney. There's no question about it. But guess what? We're bringing 6 tight ends to camp. How many FCS programs in America could say they're bringing 6 tight ends and all of them are 240 pounds or more and athletic? Okay, so there's going to be some great competition, all right, at that position. We're excited about Nick Brown, who hadn't had a lot of snaps yet, but he's a talented kid from right here in the state of South Carolina. That's amazing. And Dylan Boone, Khalil Ellis, those guys are going to compete, all right, this training camp. All right, so that's the offensive side of the ball. And then I have to end the offensive side of the ball with the running back room. Yes, we lost a great one. Lost a great one. He transferred, decided to go to another place. But I still feel like our running back room is probably one of the best rooms in America. All right, and we're returning Josh Shaw from last year. He's a young man that got some carries last year, did some good things. We're also returning Tyler Smith from Gaffney. Anybody know about South Carolina football? Gaffney is a powerhouse program. We're returning him from last season. But we signed a young man by the name of DeAndre Duhart. DeAndre Duhart is a young man that led our team at Benedict College in rushing last year. So he's a 225-pound physical hammerhead running back. And he'll do some amazing things. Then KZ Adams. Anybody know about South Carolina football from Great Collegiate High School? KZ Adams is like lightning in the bottle. Okay, he's an electric young man that we're excited about. So that's the offensive side of the ball. All right. Let me take a breather and talk about our defensive side of the ball. And that's good when you know your players, right? Sometimes you get in front of the media and you don't know your players, but I know my players because I love my players. Let's talk about them big boys up front on the defensive line. So we're returning Octavian Mentor from last year. Got some playing snaps, and he's going to his senior year. All right, he's a young man that we feel extremely excited about because he's a guy that's been in the program for a long time, and he's a guy that's made a lot of plays in the defense. And when you have a guy like that that's been around a long time, it's a special thing. And Jared Kirksey. He's another guy. He's already graduated. He's been in the defense for a long time. So those are some of the guys on the defensive line that are returning. And I got to end that one with Bill. Assad Bill Hall. Assad Bill Hall is about 235 pounds. And he's really, guys, he's a freak. He's a freak of nature. I mean, he runs with the DBs. That's what kind of speed he has. I mean, he's a talented kid from down in Florida, and we're excited about Bill. But the newcomer guys, you're talking about production. It's a young man by the name of Jaden Broughton. Okay, he transferred. He was AFCA All-American. He led the nation with 24.5 tackles for loss last year. He had 10.5 sacks. He was first-team All-American at Benedict College. All right, he's coming here, and he made some noise this spring, and people are going to know about Jaden Broughton real fast. All right, so those are some of the guys on the defensive line I want to talk about. Our linebacker room, everybody knows Aaron Smith. At the end of the season, if he does what he's supposed to do, he can be Defensive Player of the Year nationally. I mean, he's just that kind of football player. He leads our defense, super excited about him. But we also have some young men that we brought in that we're super excited about. All right, Aiden Weber's a guy that played last year. He was a starting linebacker next to Aaron Smith, and he's coming back for his senior year. And we're also excited about Zanjeri Dunham. Zanjeri Dunham, he played outside linebacker. We're moving him inside in the 4-2-5 structure. So we're excited about Zanjeri Dunham. Those guys are awesome. But we also brought in the leading tackler from Benedict College last year by the name of Dedrick Starks. He's from right here in Orangeburg, South Carolina, and he's coming for his senior year as well. Super excited about Dedrick Starks. And another man by the name of Amos Dawn. He was one of the leading tacklers at West Georgia, which is a powerhouse Division II program, and he's coming as well here. So our linebacker room really got special. Now, I'll end it with our back end. You know, we're returning Jamari Benjamin, starting corner, who's an all-MEAC guy. He's coming back from last year, as well as Michael Brunson, who's played a lot of snaps. He's from right here, St. Matthews area. Super excited about Michael Brunson, but we signed some young men at the corner position that are long. One thing you'll notice about our DB room as we coming up, these guys are long, athletic. We got 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guys on the back end, and that's a special thing when you have those kind of young men. So ultimately, at the end of the day, when we get all our safeties in, you know, you're talking about a really good group. Gerard Washington, all right, he's a young man that transferred in, that's really having a great spring, had a great spring now. We're excited about a great camp. Diego Addison, starting free safety. We're excited about him. And then Dathan Peterson, another one that we're super excited about. So again, when you look at our offense and defense, I think we have some talent, we have some depth. And then last but not least, our kicking game. Because there's 3 phases in every part of the game. There's offense, there's defense, there's special teams. And our kicking game really got better. Obviously, we're returning Gavin Zimmerman and Maxion Cobb from last year. But we also, from 2 years ago, Dyson Roberts is coming back for his last year. He was a starting punter on the Celebration Bowl team. He's coming back. And we signed a young man by the name of Kyle Gallegos from University of Arkansas. You know, he's a guy that's going to be a place kicker. He can put the ball out the end zone. He's very accurate from 50 in, you know, so we're super excited. And we signed 2 new long snappers. So You know, when you look at our overall team, and I'm glad I got an opportunity to talk about the football team, we have some talent. Now it's up for that talent to come together. You're going to hear me talk about coming together. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. That's an old African proverb. Super excited about that because the thing we're going to talk about all training camp is just coming together as one. You see those, like I say, those super teams in the NBA. They put these super teams together and all these super players, but they never come together. Our objective for training camp is to come together as one, and we like our chances in the 2024 season.
You talk about wanting the buy-in from those guys you all just listed off. How about the buy-in from the program? I mean, we're standing in a pretty nice redone office now. Just what does it mean to see the school kind of have your back and support you building this thing up?
I tell you what is special, and they've been great. You know, it takes a village to raise a child. You know, everybody wants championships, but it's an investment you have to put into it. So I'm grateful for the digs that I get the opportunity to be in every day. We got this building, we got this room wrapped, got a conference table, got another office back here in the back, and they showed the commitment to what they want to do and build a consistent program here at South Carolina State. We don't want to have just a good team, all right? We want to have a good program. When we bring parents in, when we bring recruits in, when we bring different people, we want to bring them to something nice that they can feel real proud of. And we think that the administration has done a good job of buying into that and pouring into our program.
Hey, Coach, in this new era of college football, do you prefer the transfer portal or recruiting?
Well, both of them are recruiting, all right? But we want to build it with high school guys. No question about it. Yes, we hit the portal pretty heavy this year in year one because there was so many holes that we had to fill. It was some good talent here, but we had to get depth. So we hit the transfer portal pretty strong, and it was the right year to do it. But for the most part, we're going to be in Palmetto State, man. It's a great state for football. I mean, you don't have to go far. I mean, it's talent all over this state, and people in the state of South Carolina, they love South Carolina State University. It's the only Division I HBCU in the state of South Carolina. So we're going to recruit our backyard first. We have what we call a gas tank philosophy, where we're going to recruit the gas tank anywhere in the state of South Carolina. We can get there in the gas tank. All right, so we're going to get there first. Yes, we're going to tap into Georgias and Floridas and North Carolina, absolutely. But the foundation of our team will be high school. Because again, my philosophy is this. And now, with the NIL and the transfer portal, sometimes it doesn't always work. I want to recruit you. I want to retain you. I want to develop you. Then I want to graduate you. That's usually the 4 factors. All right? Recruit good quality student athletes that fit our program. Retain them. Keep them here. All right? Keep them here. Keep them in the program throughout the test of time. Develop them. Student athlete development is important. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, Mother's Day weekend, usually, we get an opportunity to graduate them. And that's what it's all about.
This is a non-college football question. My last question for today. You from Cleveland, Ohio? Cleveland Browns Super Bowl or bust?
Listen, I'll be wrong. My Cleveland people will denounce me if I don't love on the Browns, but I'm not a Browns fan,
Okay,
but I got to
okay.
pull for the Browns.
Okay.
I got to pull for the Browns. Absolutely.
Coach, real quick, you mentioned Phoenix and Stubblefield as your quarterbacks coming in. Are you concerned at all that they didn't spend the spring with you guys? And how important is it going to be to develop that relationship with these receivers and tight ends during this camp?
Yeah, that's important, very important. And they've been here all summer throwing it. I mean, they've been here every day for the last 6 weeks getting out there. So they've developed some great comradeship. Phoenix actually has been throwing with Enaj Carter and DeAndre Ruffin because they both have Savannah ties. All of them have Savannah ties, so they've been throwing even before they came here. You know, you got to think about a guy like Eric Phoenix. He was a 2-year starter in this offense. All right, so it's not much that he doesn't know about the offense. You know, obviously we've added some things over the last year and a half, but he's a cerebral, smart football player. So he knows, and then the thing we love about Ryan Stubblefield, he's a student of the game. He is so smart. I mean, he picks up things like this. And not only that, Ryan Stubblefield has done a great job of building comradeship amongst the team, not just with the offensive players. All summer, he built a great relationship with the defensive players and special team players as well. So we feel like we have some other guys. We signed a really good, talented freshman named T.J. Moore from the D-Land, Florida area. We also have Mason coming back from the spring. He had a great spring. And we also have another transfer, all right, that's coming in as well, that's going to do some good things as well. So I'll tell you what, we really like our quarterback room. But again, you only can play one of those guys. So it's no sense in me talking about all 5 because you can only play one. But we feel like we got some guys that are going to really, really compete this training camp.
Any more questions, guys? All right, Coach. That concludes.
Let's do it. Go Dogs. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.
Start getting a little warm, didn't it?
Yeah.